Today, I'm going to be talking about the map Upward in Valve's Team Fortress 2. This map is a payload-only map, meaning that one team must push a payload from one end of the map to the other end, while the other team tries to stop them. This theme takes place in a relatively barren area. There's mostly desert and sand in the area, but it also looks incredibly dry. The map itself is at the top of what seems to be a mountain, as we can see props way below and outside of the realm of the map itself. As for the map's symmetricalness, it's not symmetrical at all, which is exactly what you would expect out of a map like this. So this is neither good nor bad, simply what's expected. The level consists of plenty of high ground as well as low ground, and even has a section where the payload must travel through a tunnel in order for the teams to progress forward. Much like many other maps in Team Fortress 2, there are many pathways in and out of each area. Throughout the map, there are 3 checkpoints that the team who's attacking can reach. In total, there's 5 checkpoints, 1 being the start and 5 being the end, where the attacking team would win the game. In each of these areas that surrounds the checkpoint, teams have ways in and out and around, so they're able to traverse and engage enemies on their own terms. The flow of the map is quite fluid, as it seamlessly transitions to both low and high ground, above and below ground. This is utilized by using things such as ramps and stairs and general just hills, for a lack of a better word. Like every other map in Team Fortress 2, throughout the map there are pickups of both health and ammo of varying sizes. The way these are placed often ends up in crucial points that would either be advantageous for a setup for a team or a flanking route where someone like the scout might be able to replenish mid-fight. The scale of the map is relatively large. Each area in itself surrounding the checkpoints feels like it could be its own deathmatch map, essentially. Though not all of the areas are created equal in their sizes, they all provide interesting ways to engage enemies. While I think that this map is very intelligently designed when it comes to horizontal traversal, I think one major issue this map has is its incredibly long sightlines. There are several points within the map where the sniper class can sit and pick off enemies from a great distance without being able to be touched from the front. In these handful of clips here, I'm playing against bots as the sniper class. Now, while these are bots and not actual players, so I wouldn't necessarily be able to get away with this, I'm still able to pick off so much of the enemy team and hold this point for my team to great success. Part of the issue with this is that the sniper is capable of one-shot headshotting every single class in the game. This is generally one of the reasons why the sniper is considered one of the most overpowered classes in the game. And while he himself has strong abilities, this is due in part to the map's open design, not just of Upward, but of many TF2 maps in general. Within the map, classes such as the Soldier and Demoman are able to use their blast jumping capabilities to great efficiency. These two classes, are both equipped with weapons that have a high amount of propulsion when they use it on themselves, though this is not without its own drawbacks, as they damage themselves both from the initial blast and from falling in the process. However, in every clip that I'm playing either Soldier or Demoman, I am using unlockable weapons that they have that essentially make all blast damage from those weapons 0. So in any clip where I am blast jumping as either of those classes, I'm taking 0 damage from the initial explosion. Despite this map's glaring issues with sight lines, this is arguably one of the more popular payload maps within the game. It has an incredibly strong flow, and it's very easy for players to traverse the map. Despite its design consisting of many ways in and out of combat zones, it is a fairly linear map. Chances are, if a player is walking forward, they'll be going towards the right direction to accomplish their objective. It's very hard to get turned around in this map if you're not trying to intentionally. The map itself also has decals for the teams that point them in the correct direction from wherever they spawn, as their spawn points do change throughout the progression of the game and depending on what checkpoint the payload cart is currently in. This map certainly utilizes all the different traversal abilities TF2 is known for in its design. While in this footage I'm only playing the classes the Scout, Demoman, Soldier, and Sniper, each class has its own different method of traversal, and all classes feel fluid on this map. No individual class feels like it is hindered by the map's design, though there are classes, such as the Heavy, that it's harder for them to get around, but that's in part due to Heavy being the slowest character in the game. Overall, personally, Upward is also one of my favorite maps in the game. Not just because I generally enjoy the payload game mode, but because the theming fits with the rest of Team Fortress 2 itself. The actual track that the payload cart moves on doesn't feel biased towards one team winning over the other, and especially the final checkpoint area is incredibly fun to play in with its use of verticality and the fact that there is a giant hole in the center where the payload cart is trying to reach. This game is one that I absolutely adore and have been playing for years. So it pains me to see how Valve has abandoned it over the years, especially with glaring issues like the long sight lines of most maps in the game. However, I still feel that Team Fortress 2 is a very important game in the history of games overall. It is generally considered the grandfather of hero shooters, as it can be cited as one of the first games to include different classes or characters with their own abilities and sets of weapons, as well as personalities. In the end, I have a lot of passion for this game, and I think that Upward has its flaws, but it's still a fantastic map to play on. And I never groan whenever I see that I'm going to be playing a game of Upward.